Hello, my name is Betsy and I'm a singing teacher at TakeLessons. Today we're going to talk about some of the best baritone audition songs that will help you stand out from the crowd. We'll cover a mix of Broadway, classical, pop, and some comedic songs. You'll also find out which songs are the most overdone in musical theater auditions. So stay tuned and don't forget to click on the link in the description box to try our free online singing classes. So my best tips for baritones for audition songs are to think about your own personality. There's such a wide range of roles that baritones play, whether you're a bouffant or you're actually the leading man and not a tenor in this case. If you're trying out for a villain, you might want to think about that type of role and do something that's a little bit heavier or scary. So you have to kind of think about what you're trying to project, what the role type is, and what the musical is. The most important thing to do is, and this is especially true for younger singers, you don't want to use anything with profanity, anything that's on a current Broadway show. You just don't want to use Luck Be a Lady Tonight, something that's super overdone, or basically anything from Phantom of the Opera, because that's super popular. Again, just staying away from something that's too dark or inappropriate, or like I said, using any kind of profanity or anything that's going to make the judges uncomfortable, because that's going to reflect upon your audition and make them think uncomfortably about you in a role, which is what you exactly don't want to do. One good song that might be a good choice for you is Pretty Woman from Sweeney, Todd. This is going to be more of a lyrical song that can show off some acting ability. Like I said, if this is one of those rare roles that a baritone actually has a love interest and isn't a villain or the clown or some kind of juxtaposed character, this is a good song to kind of show off your acting and set yourself up as a leading man. Another good one, if you're younger especially, or if you're going for that kind of class clown bouffant type role, would be Greased Lightning. Everybody knows the song, but for a younger male to sing it and really lend his personality, it can be done really well. And you can also show off a little bit of your comedic and acting chops, as well as if you're able to incorporate some dancing into it. It's a little quicker song, so that would show you in that kind of light. Another good song would be If I Were a Rich Man from Fiddler on the Roof. Again, if you've got some kind of comedic acting ability to really show off and just kind of show a little bit more personality, if this is for a father or a bouffant type role, that would be great. One that's done a little bit more, but if you have a higher tessitura, that is, your range can stretch, Beauty and the Beast, If I Can't Love Her, is a really good song if you do have the ability to sing a little bit higher. As a baritone, sometimes roles do expect a little bit more out of you, so if you can choose something that has a higher range stretch, or if you do have that mid-tone belt and you want to show that off, a song like that would really be a great audition piece to just let the producers and director or casting people know that, hey, I do have this range and I'm comfortable using it. So, best songs for comedic roles. So this is normally when you're the best friend or you're the class clown or that type of role. You want to choose something that's going to show that you have comedic timing, that you do have the ability to act through a song. Remember, in these comedic roles, it's not as important that you're a great singer. It's more important that you're a good actor. So you want to show the director that you're a good actor, that you have comedic timing, that you can tell a story through a song and really sell it that way. If the director wanted just a great singer, they'd hire a great singer. But that's really not the point of comedic roles. You just need to think of yourself as an actor first. Le Poisson from The Little Mermaid is a great song to really act out and just get that kind of like fake rage and really build the audience up. It's going to be done a little bit more, especially in children's theaters and young adults. So be careful with that choice and just kind of see what kind of role you're going for. Mama Says from Footloose is another great song. It's belty and can really show off a comedic range. Me from Beauty and the Beast, super funny. You can really let yourself go with that one. And again, it's going to be more appropriate for like a younger audience or for a director that wants to see you in a role that's okay and geared for children. Musicals that you would want to use a pop song for would be something that's written more recently. I think using a pop song to show off your range is great. One of my best tips for doing this, though, is to think about pop singers and their voice type. So who do you like listening to? Who do you sing along with really well, especially as a young singer and maybe you don't have a lot of lessons or working with a professional under your belt? Think about who you're comfortable singing with along with on the radio. Voices like Josh Groban or Elvis Presley or Eddie Vedder, Jim Morrison from The Doors, something a little bit older. Think about those voices, something like Sweet Caroline from Neil Diamond or America. That's a great choice for a young singer. Light My Fire, Riders on the Storm, again from The Doors, great choices for showing off that baritone range. You Raise Me Up, if you have a little bit higher or you can hold that mid-tone belt, like that would be great. Sing some Josh Groban and really show off a little bit more of your classical training. So for classical audition songs, I would definitely recommend to consider your role strongly. Who are you auditioning for is going to be almost as important, if not more important, than what's comfortable in your voice type, because the role that you're singing could vary so diversely in classical music, whether it's an oratorio and you can be a little bit more straight-faced, or if, again, you're playing the buffoon type character where you want to be something funny or comedic, you have to show that difference. If you're talking about like a dramatic role, maybe go to Verdi. In Rigoletto, Parisiamo is just a great piece for a baritone to audition with. Verdi was the king of Italian drama as far as opera goes, and you would want to choose something that's equally dramatic and has the ability to kind of showcase that. If the role that you're playing is going to be sung in English, you might want to sing an aria that's in English. So the Ballad of Baby Doe, Warm as the Autumn Light, is beautiful and lyrical. The song is set really nicely in the middle of your tessitura, so it's going to show off that strong middle range, and it has some just beautiful lines, and it's right around 3 minutes, so it's a pretty good choice if you get to sing that much time at an audition, which is normally the cap for any classical singer to be able to showcase. So Rossini's Barbaro of Seville has a great song for baritone. If you have some nice vocal agility and you do want to show off your comedic chops, Largo al Factotum is a great piece. Again, it's in Italian, so you're going to be able to show that off if the show that you're auditioning for is in Italian. It's beautiful classically, but it's also one of the most recognizable pieces. So if it's a classically leaning show, but the audience or the judges aren't necessarily super schooled in opera pieces, they'll recognize this one, and it'll be a nice one that they can kind of hum along to, as well as admire and appreciate what you're doing vocally. Another good one if you're auditioning for a comedic role is from Mozart's Don Giovanni. The catalog aria is just super funny. So if you do have the ability to act and you do have the ability to showcase some personality, this would be a great one to go. Even though it's not in English, people still understand your jokes and your gestures if you have the ability to really act it out and show that you can do that. And it gives directors just a great idea of what they can do with you musically as well as with your acting. So if you need something up-tempo as a baritone, there are some really good choices out there for you. Surrey with the Fringe on Top from Oklahoma is super fast and fun. Just remember, you have to spit out those words just as super clearly as you can, because you're not in that super high tenor or soprano register where maybe the audience can hear you a little bit more clearly. As soon as you lower that tessitura, you have to work even harder to get that diction out. So remember that. I Can't Stand Still from Footloose is another really good option, especially again if you have a very, very high range. That would be great for you to show off and showcase. The bigger stretch you can give a director in your audition, the more they can imagine you in a role that does have that kind of same range. Boy from Oz has a great piece called Not the Boy Next Door. Again, this is a great song that has that mid-range that just shows you as a powerhouse singer. We talked about it before in the comedic section, but Me from Beauty and the Beast is also a good one to show that you're able to carry an up-tempo piece and not lose people's interest or fatigue, or show that you can't, spit those words out with people understanding you. So some top tips in general for baritones: think about the role you're auditioning for. Think about what you're comfortable with. Are you comfortable being a comedian? Or are you maybe just more comfortable being like a love interest or maybe a more serious role? Are you fine with being a villain? Think about the roles that you want to audition for. Think about the shows that are coming up in your area and kind of think about what you would be willing to show a director, because they want to see the very best version of you so that they can cast you into that show. Things to expect during an audition: you really want to be prepared for them to cut you off and not get frazzled. Maybe have a backup song. Maybe if you had picked a comedic song, maybe also pick something that's a little bit more lyrical, just in case they want to hear your singing abilities. They can see you act already just fine. I would expect to be vocalized. So go in with your scales ready, go in already vocalizing your voice from the bottom and the top, go back down, stretch it a little bit further lower, stretch it a little bit further higher. As a baritone, that range is just going to be super important because they might try to pigeonhole you into a role that maybe needs a little bit more of a stretch than you've shown in your song. So having those vocalizing abilities with a pianist on the spot is important to think of and important to be comfortable with and not get nervous about. Can you think of any other good audition songs for baritones? Leave a comment and let us know. And if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing so you can receive more helpful singing lessons.